Hi guys, in today's video we have the brand new event pass ship, the Pan-Asian battleship Teng She. With 2 devastating strikes and a Kraken, welcome to World of Warships. Okay then, I hope you're well. Here's the Teng She. It's a tier 7 battleship. It is actually the same hull as the Russian tier 7 battleship, the Sinop. However, it's got a lot of differences from the Sinop. More notably, probably the biggest difference that everyone will be paying attention to, and its unique feature, is the fact that it's got a sniper plane. They call it a precision spotting plane. Today we're going to call it a sniper plane. It will give you a 10% buff on your dispersion and range. There is a shores. We do lock on. He's coming in now, 18 kilometers away. We launch the sniper plane, set the shot. Does look like he's sailing in somewhat of a straight line here. Shots out. And those are looking pretty good. We zoom in, and that is beautiful. First blood, devastating strike to us. 3 citadels, by the way. So those sniper planes can be very effective, only up for a short period. I've actually had it extended here to allow me to have 3 shots. If I can get all 3 shots off quickly, you can get 3 salvos away using the sniper plane. Going over some of the specs here, we will cover it in a little bit more detail at the end of the video. She has the health of 68,000 health, which is slightly more than the Sinop, which has 65,000 health. She's got 16% torpedo protection, which is actually slightly less than the Sinop, which has 23% torpedo protection. In terms of the guns, they are very similar. 406mm guns with a range of 18.8 kilometers. In terms of velocity, they travel at 767 meters a second, which is the same as the Sinop. AP damage is 12,900 with the build that I have, and I'll show you the build afterwards. Airstrikes have a range of 9 kilometers and you get 2 drops. AA rating is 64 with a range of 6 kilometers and 4 flak bursts. Speed is a top speed of 28.4 knots. Turning circle is 840 meters. It's actually better than the Sinop, which has a turning circle of 960 meters. So you have 840 meters. Rudder shift is 12.9 seconds. Her detectability is 13.6 kilometers with the build I have. We're pushing forward here, just looking to see if we can hold this flank. We are actually down 1 ship here. We've lost 2 cruisers, so has the enemy, but we've also lost a destroyer. The turret traverse on the guns do feel very sluggish, but it is tier 7 and this is quite usual. We don't want to push too deep here. See if we can catch him. We do have the sniper plane up. We do launch it. And you can see the dispersion. It is pretty good. Just over 10,500 K damage. I was looking for a citadel there. Catch him as he's leaving here. Got to keep an eye on that cruiser, although I'm not sure if that cruiser is going to push in. Just over 6,500 again. Still have 20 seconds on the sniper plane. We'll go for a long range shot here on the Scharnhorst. We're actually down 2 ships now, 1 battleship.
Torpedoes, direct front.
That's the Shiriatsu. Quite powerful torps, does hurt, does cause a flood. And because we only have 16% torpedo protection, torpedoes are a big threat for us. Quite a clumsy battleship, however the turning circle does help.
Problem solved, sir. The enemy team has taken the lead.
She should definitely be played mid to long range. It's what she's designed for with the sniper plane. In terms of her hull, she has an icebreaker. The only problem you're going to have is the icebreaker is not very good. It's like 30mm. You're essentially coated in 26mm of armour. I don't mind taking some damage here, just to get the adrenaline rush working. I would love to take out one of these cruisers. So there's 2 cruisers at quite low health here. The Omaha and the Vima. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm probably butchering the name. I'm pretty sure you don't pronounce it with a W. We do get 1. He does start turning just as I'm trying to line the shot here. Two overpens, not surprised really. It is a very thin cruiser and overpens are kind of the thing. However, with plunging fire you do tend to get the citadel. Line him up again. He must be very low now. That was a full pen. We've basically been pushed in. There's just 2 of us left here. We're in a lot of trouble. You never know. Won't give up. Looks like he is slowing down here. We do 1 shot just to try and line up the second and third shot. Dispersion is pretty awful there. And that looks good. We're getting the full focus now from the CV, from the Omaha, from the Cavort, and we've got 2 other ships coming in from behind us. I'm going to give this guy 1 last shot. Unfortunately, he does disappear. We've got a full health battleship in front of us now, to our left, right, sorry. He is full health. And we've got a sub. Of course we have. Of course. Why wouldn't we? Use the sniper plane here. Just over 12,500. Got to try and make sure we don't actually hit the island in front of us here, but I do want to get a shot off here. And we get a dev strike. Very nice. That brings us up to 4 citadels, 2 dev strikes, and a first blood award. We are now the only ship left. Yeah.
Torpedoes to port.
Torpedoes coming in from the submarine.
Torpedoes to port.
We do get the Kraken with a high caliber. And those are the Shiriatsu torps. And that's the game. So we finish off 126,000. First Blood Dev Strike Award. Double Dev Strikes, High Caliber and Kraken. We do come top of our team here with 1,300 base XP for a loss, which I believe places us third overall on both sides of the team. We managed to pick up just over 500,000 credits, which isn't bad for a tier 7. Let's finish this review with a ship and captain build guide and tutorial. Okay, after that game we're going to just go over some of the build and review of the actual ship itself and just show you exactly what this ship is capable of and what it comes with. So, what you have here in terms of the Teng She, you've got the following ship modules that I've decided to use, which is the Spotting Aircraft Modification 1, although you could use Main Armaments Modification 1 as well. The only reason I actually use this one in terms of the spotting aircraft is it gives me the ability to fire 3 salvos instead of 2 with extra accuracy. In the second slot we have Damage Control Modification 1, Aiming Systems Modification 1, Damage Control Systems Modification 2. Now in terms of signals, no signals are essential, however these are probably the 4 most prioritized signals that you should use if you decide to use signals. The first is India Yankee, which will give you a 20% buff to the fire extinguishing time. Juliet Yankee Bizotto, which will give you a 20% buff to the flooding recovery time. November Foxtrot, which will give you a 5% buff on your consumable reload time. And finally India Delta, which will give you a 20% buff on your HP recovery. In terms of captain, we have a 21 point captain here, and we are using Consumable Specialist, Grease the Gears, Super Heavy AP Shells. The reason we use these obviously is for the 7.5% buff to AP, Adrenaline Rush, Emergency Repair Expert, Concealment Expert, and Fire Prevention Expert. When you use these skills, you will basically have 65,000 health with a 16% torpedo protection. You fire 406s with a range out to 18.8 kilometers. You get 9 kilometer range on your airstrikes, 6 kilometer range on your AA with 4 flat bursts, top speed of 27 knots, a turning circle of 840 meters, a rudder shift of 12.9 seconds, concealment of 13.6 kilometers, and your high precision spotter, or we like to call it sniper plane, will give you a 10% buff on your range and a 10% buff on your accuracy. And that's the Teng She. She's available. She's a tier 7 Pan-Asian battleship. I will actually show you the hull. And you can see the armour layout here. 26mm of armour on the bow, on the deck, and on the stern. She has an icebreaker on the stern, that's 30mm, and an icebreaker on the bow, that's 30mm. You will be overmatched on the nose and the stern through this part by most battleships, including the Nagato, the Sinop, the Hood, the Nelson, and many other battleships. Those are just tier 7 battleships I've mentioned. You will be fighting tier 8 and tier 9. You do have an above water citadel, which runs almost the length of the entire ship here. So it's important you do not give broadside and you stay angled, and you can be overmatched through the nose here into the citadel, as you can see just there. That's all above water. So there you go guys, that's the tier 7 Pan-Asian battleship, the Teng She. Guys, it's been a pleasure. Do me a favour, hit the like, subscribe and leave a comment below, and thank you very much for your time. Take care guys, be good.